Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, gonna continue our previews. Today I'm gonna do Edmonton. Which, Draisaitl and McDavid are gonna put up ridiculous numbers, that's a given. But it's what matters with the rest of the team, because they've lost someone big this year. Alright, additions. They've added Kyle Turris, 2-year, $1.65 million per season. Probably a solid third-line center for them, wouldn't hurt. Alan Quinn, I'm not sure how to say it. 1 year, $750,000. Gonna probably play in the minors. Anton Forsberg, a goalie, 1 year, $700,000. Probably gonna be in the minors as well. Seth Griffith, a 2 year, $725,000 per. Tyson Barrie, they're giving a 1 year deal, $3.75 million. That could end up being a good deal. I mean, they needed a puck moving defender. I'm not sure they truly had that before this year. So hopefully he rebounds from a terrible year with Toronto last year. But who knows? I mean, he's not the best defensively. And losing Oscar Klefbom to injury for the season probably hurts them quite a bit. So we'll see how this works out. They added Dominic Cahoon, 1 year, $975,000. Slater Cook, 1 year, $850,000, and Adam Cracknell they added for 1 year, $700,000. Subtractions include Matt Benning to Nashville, so him and Edmonton can continue their hate for his injury that he caused to McDavid a few years back. See if that continues or if it's gone away. We'll see. Because if we know one thing, hockey players hold grudges for a very long time. Josh Curry to Pittsburgh. Tomas Yurko to Vegas. Marcus Granlund is a free agent. Mike Green retired. Andreas Athanasiou to Los Angeles. And Riley Sheehan. I didn't put where he went because I thought I saw that he signed a tryout with Buffalo. But I could be incorrect. I had to do more research. I couldn't find anything because I thought I saw it this morning. So it may not be all out there yet. So we'll see. They re-signed William Lagesson, 2 years, $725,000. Tyler Ennis, 1 year and $1 million. He was actually a fairly good pickup for them at the trade deadline last year. He played pretty well for him, so I'm not surprised they kept him. Then the big one for you Edmonton fans out there, Jesse Puljujarvi is back with the team after sitting out for a year. 2 years, $1.75 million. That could be a good deal if he plays as well as he did in the Finnish league this last season. Or it could just be someone who gets buried in the minors if he plays like he did 2 years ago, where he was honestly pushed in there way too early. I don't think he was ready, but Edmonton had hoped that playing with McDavid and Draisaitl would make him great automatically right away, but it didn't work out. So we'll see if it works out this time around. I don't think they're going to put him on that top line. They're going to start him slow, I think, this time around. Hopefully, they've learned that lesson. Then the news for today, they re-signed Ethan Bear to a 2 year, $2 million per season deal. And that's a good one because he was a solid defender for him, actually, last year. I like the way he plays. They have no cap space. Honestly, they're in the negative area. I don't know why I didn't say that, but $83.6 million, that means they're in the negative because I think the cap is 82.5. So that means they're probably about $1 million over. In which case, I mean, they'll bury probably one of these guys down, most likely is my guess. Or even Jujar Kariya, I believe it is. So we'll see how this works out. But let's see, forward-wise, they got Nugent Hopkins, who's a UFA after this year. And they'd be dumb to let him go for nothing. So I gotta imagine he's gonna re-sign, but he's gonna want more money. So we'll see how that one works out. Alex Chason probably won't be brought back. Jujar Carria. He's a RFA with arbitration rights after this year. Dominic Cahoon, same thing. Tyler Ennis, Gaetan Haas, and Joachim Nygaard are all UFAs. So not a whole lot to let go of. Adam Larson is a UFA after this year. Same with Tyson Barrie and Slater Cook. And I think it'll depend on how they play this year. But they're going to have to choose between keeping Barry for more money or keeping Larson for more money. Because both are going to want more money. And if Barry provides more than Larson does this year, they're going to give it to Barry and let Larson go. If Barry falters like he did in Toronto last year, Larson's getting the money and they're going to let Tyson Barry go. So Cook they can keep for cheap. I don't think he's going to get much more than he is. Mike Smith is a UFA after this year, so they're going to let him go, I have a feeling. I mean, their saving grace for cap right here is Oscar Kleppbaum. His $4.167 million is going to go onto the long-term injury reserve once the season begins and give them a little bit of space. They're still paying $750,000 off of Milan Lucic's Calgary contract for 3 more seasons. Benoit Pouliot's buyout comes off of the cap after this year. Andre Sekera, they're paying for the next 3 seasons, but it goes down by $1 million next year. Let's see. In the minors, they got Kyler Yamamoto, who I guarantee you is going to be playing in the big leagues because he looked really good last year. Cooper Merity is an RFA as well as Yamamoto, so they're going to have to pay Yamamoto out there this year. Tyler Benson is RFA, another guy who could play for him this year. Alan Quinn, Joseph Gambardella, Adam Cracknell, and Patrick Russell are all UFAs after this year. Then you got in the defense, Theodore Lindstrom is an RFA, so I've never even heard of him, so I don't even think he's going to stay. But they got Broberg down there, Evan Bouchard. Those guys could end up playing this year. We'll see. I mean, they could be good replacements for Larson. Like, Philip Broberg could probably easily replace Larson. I mean, give him a couple years in the NHL just to adapt, but I think he'd be easily up there, if not better, too. Non-roster goaltenders, Stuart Skinner, Dylan Wells are RFAs, and Anton Forsberg is a UFA after this year. So they had a decent draft. They had, at 14th overall, they picked Dylan Holloway, which, if you look at TSN, they won't stop talking about Dylan Cousins and Dylan Holloway. So, take it as you will. I mean, just because they have World Juniors success does not mean they're going to have success in the NHL by any stretch of the imagination. But it definitely helps your pedigree, that is for sure. Number 100, they picked Carter Savoy, which I believe he was supposed to, I want to say he was supposed to be higher. I could be incorrect, but I want to say he was supposed to. He was one of those who fell. Number 126, Tyler Tullio. 138, Maxim Bearskin. 169, they picked Philip Angaris. I'm not sure I said that one properly. Number 200, Jeremias Lindeval. All right. Now, their 2021 draft. They have no 2nd, 3rd, or 5th round pick. But they have their 1st, 4th, 6th, and 7th, and Pittsburgh's 6th. And they have all their draft picks for the following years. So they'll probably end up trading something, I'm sure, because they'll probably need some more, maybe depth forwards or defenders. Probably defenders more, but we'll see how it works out. Here's the lineup. You got, why do they have Nugent Hopkins with McDavid? That makes no sense. Personally, I don't think that's going to last long. But it could, because, I mean, Draisaitl proved last year he could score with or without McDavid, sorry. So, first line, it looks like they have McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Zach Kassian. So, solid first line, because we know McDavid's going to score no matter what. Second line, Draisaitl with Enos and Yamamoto. And, honestly, I could see first line being, at times, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Yamamoto. We'll see, but I think that'd be a very, very strong first line. But they still have 2 strong lines there. I mean, Tyler Enos. I mean, James Neal can get back to scoring again like he did at the beginning of last season. I mean, maybe put him there on that line instead of Enos, because I don't think Enos belongs on a second line anymore. He's more like 3rd, 4th liner at best. Third line, they got Josh Archibald, Kyle Turris, and Alex Chason. That's a solid third line. Then you got James Neal, Jujakaria, and Jesse Puljujärvi. Which case I can see Puljujärvi playing on third line instead of Chason, or even slipping into like first and moving Cassian down at times. We'll see. He has to develop, and they don't need to rush him, so they need to keep him lower minutes to get used to it. Especially the difference in the North American game versus the Finnish game. Alright, then you got first defensive pair, Darnell Nurse and Ethan Bear. Alright, I know a lot of Edmonton fans were mad at Nurse because of his comments after they lost in the playoffs last year. But let's be honest, he wasn't inaccurate. They did not play with a whole lot of heart, and they did not play with a whole lot of grit. So, he wasn't wrong. I mean, the way he did in the media was wrong. Because most hockey players will not go to the media and say those type of things. Logan Couture. Sorry, he is the most well-known version of that. Partly why most of his ex-teammates are not fans of his. Alright, then you got Chris Russell, Adam Larson. They're a good, solid defensive duo. They're not going to provide offense, much if any. Third one, you got Caleb Jones and Tyson Barrie. Honestly, I can see Barrie being in the second pair instead of either Larson or Russell. But that's only because he can provide offense and has someone to protect him. Where Caleb Jones, I'm not as familiar with him. I've seen him play a little bit, but I'm not sure if he's better defensively or offensively, honestly. Goaltending, you got Koskinen, who's probably going to be a starter. Mike Smith trading there. I mean, probably the tallest goalie duo there is 6'7" and 6'5". Mike Smith being one of only a handful of goalies who have actually fought over the last few years, so good on him. And like I said, their biggest loss right now, Oscar Klefbom, probably their best defender. Probably would have been there instead of Nurse, and Nurse down there, Russell there instead of Jones. But that's how it worked out. Unfortunately, he's out for the year. Hopefully he heals up and comes back. But this year he's a lost one. Scratches, you got Dominic Cahoon and Gaetan Haas, who I did see him play a bit last year, and he was actually interesting to watch play. He was pretty fun. Slater Cook, good solid 7th defender. I mean, he's not going to be better than that, but good solid guy to be a backup. Fill in here and there. Taxi Squad, I believe Joakim Nygaard got in some games last year. Adam Cracknell, we know that, it's ELL. I put A before, sorry. Adam Cracknell, I'm sorry. I mean, he could definitely plug in on a lower fourth line probably easily. Evan Bouchard, I think he may get some time this year because he's probably ready at this point. I mean, you got Tyler Benson, possible young forward who could pop in. I don't think Lavoie will make it this year. He might. He was drafted last year. Maybe he gets a shot if he plays well enough. Alright, here's their loaned players that they have loaned overseas right now. I mean, some of those I think will be coming back because now that we know the season is starting, and when it's starting, that might be. Philip Broberg may have another year before he comes over, I'm sure, because I think he has a Swedish contract for the year, in which case, this late, like I said last time, this late in the season, I don't think they're going to just mutually terminate his contract so he can come over, especially with no guarantee he will be in the NHL. Alright, so, Dylan Holloway, I want to say he's in college hockey this year. I could be incorrect. But I don't know, maybe he gets a shot, but I doubt it. Maybe like a 9-gamer. Skylar Brendamore, I wonder if that's Rod Brendamore's kid. Let's see. Oh, and they have Slepyshev, I forgot about that. Why does that name sound familiar? I don't think it's the same player I'm thinking of. But yeah, those are 2 reserves there, 2 Russian players. So top prospects. Phil Broberg is their top prospect, 8 points in 45 SHL games. Evan Bouchard, 36 points in 54 AHL games. That's why I thought Dylan Holloway was in the NCAA last year. I don't know if he has a contract or not. But Dylan Holloway, 17 points in 35 NCAA games. That right there would tell me he probably needs another year, but they aren't playing mini games. Dmitry Samorukov, 10 points in 47 AHL games. Oh, he's a defender. Okay, I was going to say 10 points in 47 games. He better be playing fourth line, but no, he's a defender, so that's fine. Raphael Lavoie, 82 points in 55 QMJHL games. Other ones mentioned, Ryan McLeod, Kirill Maximov, Ty Tullio, Tyler Benson, and William Lagesson. So I think they're going to be a middle-of-the-pack team or middle-range team. And that's mostly just because of the division they're in. I mean, the Canadian division, Ottawa is the only one I can say is going to be that I know for sure where they're going to finish. They're going to be at the bottom of that division. I mean, I know their ownership and their fans are hopeful for this year. I think you're going to have at least another year before you start seeing real improvement. But it's just a tough division. I mean, any of those, honestly, even Ottawa could finish higher than last in their division, but I think they need some more growing, so I'm going to say they're going to finish last. But, I mean, out of all the others, I mean, Toronto's probably the weakest mentally, but adding Thornton might lift up their locker room and make them better. I mean, he's not going to provide the offense to make them better, but he might provide the locker room they need because they don't have that strong locker room guy from what I've seen. Calgary, like I said, I mean, if their first line can go back to 2 years ago, then they're going to be a hard team to beat. Especially adding Jakob Markstrom as their goalie. Edmonton's still a solid team. Montreal, they looked dang good in the playoffs last year. Toronto, like I said, adding Thornton might help them mentally, and just being more stable in their defense is going to help them. Vancouver, I mean, they're still a good team, even though they lost a lot of guys this offseason. But they're still a good young team. And Winnipeg, we know they're going to be solid no matter what, because, I mean, they just always find a way. So, I mean, Edmonton can finish all the way in first in this division, but also all the way in second to last, in my opinion. I mean, it just depends on further injuries, like if McDavid gets hurt again. That's going to hurt them a lot. Especially if him and Draisaitl get hurt, they're done. I would say they'll finish below Ottawa at that point, but I'm not hoping that happens by any stretch, but just saying if it happens, they can finish down there. So I'm going to say they're going to be middle to top of their division, easily. So that's where Edmonton's going to be this year. Alright, everybody. If you are a subscriber, thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber and you're watching, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when a new video drops. I'll try and drop them daily, especially when the season starts. That way I can go through what happened during the day, who did what, and just see what's out there. Also news. So if you aren't a subscriber, make sure to subscribe and make sure to like, comment, share, and I will see you all next video. Bye, everybody.